Hello, how's it going? Welcome to what's up? What's up? We're live, episode 4, Staying Sane. Welcome to the podcast, to the uh, whatever we want to call this. This is where we like to talk nerdy and talk about whatever else we want. It doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be sports. It won't be politics because we don't go that route. That's no, that's not happening. You know.
Yeah. If we talk about stuff we want to talk
Yeah,
about, that's not going to come
exactly.
up.
If we talk politics, it's the politics of the whole Marvel, DC stuff like that. That kind of politics. You know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
deepest we're going to get is like, are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
Yeah. Exactly.
Team Iron Man
Anyways.
represent.
Oh, see, I got to go for Cap, so this works out
Uh
perfect.
oh, here. Uh oh, let's quick put a pin in this one.
Let's stop now
Let's
before
take
we
this
go out.
offline.
Yeah. Let's
That's what
let's
that's a manager thing to say,
yeah.
right? Let's
Yeah,
take it offline.
exactly. Exactly. But I'm not a manager anymore for myself, so it doesn't matter. You know.
You're the manager of this whole thing, no? You're the Nerdology 5280 menager.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, so we are of course on one side, which I'm pointing to his screen there. You've got Ryan, aka Raph, aka Ryan Does It Nerdy on Twitter. And then of course I'm Jamie, Nerdology 5280. And we're just here to talk some whatever. Whatever. So right before we started, you said you had a little story to tell. So
Oh yeah.
I've got a story to tell.
So one of the stories, one of the comics that I had gotten into, like right before all the lockdowns and stay-at-home orders and what have you all started dropping, was I started getting into Usagi Yojimbo.
Okay.
So Usagi is a character that I've always liked him, but I've only had very limited interaction with him as a character, just from the Three Ninja Turtle series that he's appeared in thus far. The original cartoon from the '80s, the 2003 cartoon series, and
Mm-hmm.
then of course the excellent 2012 the CG series from Nickelodeon, the Nick series,
Yeah.
the one that predates the current rise of TMNT. He's a samurai. He's a rabbit. He's really cool. Always kind of like the character. And I've read a few of the Usagi Yojimbo TMNT crossovers. Most recently, the big story that was like the giant one shot that was published from
Mm-hmm.
IDW a couple years back. So it's a character that I've had very little interactions with, but I've always liked him in the few times I've gotten to learn about him and see him in action. And so I started reading the Usagi Yojimbo series, from Stan Sakai, that was created. His first appearance was also back in 1984. He's been an indie
Yeah.
comic this whole time. Stan Sakai has owned he's owned this character ever since his creation. It's always been a creator-owned thing. So he's always had the ability to take it to new publishers, when he's had to, and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But it's not necessarily a series that I'd ever really read in any kind of depth or detail. So I was starting to get into it right before the lockdown, and all that happened. And of course, when it did happen, Comixology was having this great sale on all their digital stuff, and all the various volumes and things were marked down 50% off for like a month, and then they dropped even further to like 80% off. So instead of buying this, 15 or $20 volume, you're getting it for $4 over
Yeah.
600 pages of story. So I went through, and I still had some money saved up from Christmases and birthdays and everything, and I bought like the entire Usagi Yojimbo run, over
Mm-hmm.
200
Mm-hmm.
issues worth of this run, all the way from his earliest days, from his earliest appearances in like this little anthology comic, all the way up through the present day IDW. The very last collected edition is like the last story from Dark Horse before he moved the book to IDW, where it's at now. And I really liked the story. I was shocked at how much I actually liked the comics, how great these stories are. And I convinced my son to start reading them after having him watch some of the Ninja Turtles episodes with me. When I was getting really into Usagi, I had him watch all the Usagi episodes with me. So then he started getting into it. Now he's reading it, and he's
Nice.
15 volumes, or I think he's 11 volumes into the series. It's 34 volumes total. So he's about a third of the way into it. One of the things I like about the series, though, what Stan Sakai did is he took probably the most romanticized period of Japanese history, feudal Japan,
Yeah.
right around the time where the Tokugawa shogunate takes over, the actual, running of the country way back in, it's like 1603 or something like that. Something along those lines, where it's like the very early 1600s all the way up until like the late 18, it's like the 1868 or whatever is when like the Meiji, I forget what the Meiji Restoration, where it transferred back from a shogunate to an empire again. So for that whole period, it's probably the most talked about, most romanticized period in Japanese history. And so Stan Sakai takes that period and he says, this is going to be an awesome setting for my story. And he creates
Okay.
all these
Yeah.
anthropomorphic animals. Obviously, Usagi Yojimbo is a rabbit. Usagi is the Japanese word for rabbit. He's got all these other characters. There's a rhinoceros. There's all these cats and moles and bats and tigers and lions and no bears. No, I'm kidding. There's bears. All kinds of stuff. All these different little animal characters and bears. And all these little animal characters and stuff. So he's able to tell this story in a way that like it captures your imagination, but he's giving you Japanese history. He's throwing in Buddhist and Shinto mythology, all this different stuff, and just making it this wonderfully immersive world. There's magic, there's history, all kinds of stuff. So I recommend this series to my dad a couple months ago as well. He's, my dad's going to be 70 years old this month. He retires at the end of the year from the company that he's worked for 40 years. He's going to have a lot of free time on his hand. And he's actually the one that turned me on to like, samurai stuff. When I was young, he showed me not all of them, but a bunch of Akira Kurosawa films, which were all these samurai movies. Those are the movies, those are the stories that all of Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns are based on. All the Clint Eastwood movies that are so popular. So just this genre that transcends all kinds of stuff, and it's just these timeless stories. And I recommend it to my dad. It doesn't even say a word. Just like I send him this text, I do this whole big thing, nothing, crickets. So the other day, Maxton is talking to me, and he's like, "Dad, this is really fun. I love these stories. I want to talk about them." And I'm like, I bet if you told your grandfather to read these stories, he would probably do it. So I give my son my phone. He sends my dad a text. He's like, "Hey, Grandpa." We call him Gaffer because that's what Samwise calls his dad in Lord of the Rings. He's always calling him my old Gaffer, so we call my dad the Gaffer. So he's like, "Hey, Gaffer, it's Maxton. I want to recommend this comic book series to you. It's called Usagi Yojimbo, about a samurai rabbit. You should read it." And so, like, within 5 minutes, my dad responds with this big friggin' novel of a text like, "Hey, Maxon, that sounds very interesting. I would definitely very much like to read these comics. Do you have any recommendations? Where can I find it?" I'm like, "You son of a bitch."
It's like, after all this time, and your son is the one that reels him in.
Yeah, but it's fine. So like 2 days ago, my dad's like, "How am I supposed to read all these?" I'm like, "Well, you can try to find them online, but a lot of the earlier stuff is out of print and it's really hard to find. You end up paying like an arm and a leg for like used copies." I'm like, "I own them all digitally, so if you take your tablet and you download the Comixology app, we can share logins and you can read them that way." So so he downloaded the app and he signed in, and he's already like halfway through the second volume. I've been texting with him. He's like, "I really love these stories. These are awesome."
You're like, "See, I was trying to get you to do it."
Remember when I told you this in February, you old bastard?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. We got someone new watching. Well, first, while we were doing it, I was chatting back and forth with Alice because she's on.
Oh, cool. Hey, Alice.
She said she asked how we were doing. I said we're doing well, but she said she's better from last week, but she's scared for her dad because her dad's in the hospital right now.
Oh, no.
So I hope he's okay. She said he will be. I know he was going to go to the hospital, but I was hoping it wasn't during this. Oh, no. Hopefully you can. Yeah, during the whole pandemic, I see what you mean. Hopefully you can, see him and everything. They loosen up things a little bit, so you can at least go see him. Because that sucks. I mean, definitely. And then the other person that's in and watching is good old OMD. He
Ah,
jumped in to
Dale,
see,
what's up,
you know.
man?
You know.
I'm gonna pull up a stream on my iPad so I can
Yeah.
see the chat.
Um, he says I'm quiet, so that he can't hear me. So I guess, hey Alice, how do I sound for my volume and all that compared with Ryan? Because when I listen back on the videos, everything sounds good. So let me know in the chat, because I'm curious. Because I definitely need to adjust it if so. But I'm looking at my volume that I have on my streaming platform, and it looks good. So I don't know.
Weird.
But yeah. So I mean that's yeah. She said I can hear you. So Dale, it might be on your side, or it could be because I know you're old and hard to hear. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We love you, Dale. We love you. You know. Gotta have a little
Oh,
fun. So you got to get your stuff set up, get your position, get your spot all set up, and then we've got room. Either I don't know where I'll put you or how it will do the thing. I'm pointing kind of every which way. There he is. What up, boys? But yeah, get you in, jump on a couple of these podcasts. We can talk about whatever. So I guess there's a couple little tidbits that I want to talk about. First thing, a couple little news things that have come across. First thing up, we have, as I just drew a blank, what's her name that is going to be on Mandalorian season 2, playing. I don't know. Is she playing the same character from Clone Wars?
yes, Clone Wars and
So and
Rebels.
so and Rebels, yeah. Bo
Hmm.
Katan,
Yeah, Bo-Katan Kryze's
yeah,
younger sister, maybe older sister.
yeah.
I thought
Her
it was
younger
younger sister
sister,
of
yeah,
Ventress
younger sister,
18, who
yeah,
was, the leader of the
mm-hmm,
Mandalorians until the whole Death Watch coup
yeah,
occurred, and then all
mm-hmm.
the story with Darth Maul. I'm pretty excited about it because Bo-Katan was the last canonical holder or wielder of the dark saber.
Okay, yes, that is true because she got it during the end of Rebels.
Yep.
After all thing, because she became the leader of the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
After they got their kind of planet back and all that. So, um, and Allison just texted me, Dale, and said you need to turn up your hearing aid. I love it.
We're
That's
gonna have to
awesome.
start a GoFundMe to get a better one for OMG.
Yes, yes.
Help our friend Dale hear better.
Yes. And you know how much I watch, hearing shot or not. I know the sound levels. uh, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited. So I'm really curious because, uh, Katie Sackhoff, she's been in a lot of nerdy stuff. I didn't watch much. What is it? Battlestar Galactica
Yeah,
that she was in.
BSG.
That's
She was on
really that she was.
not necessarily remake, but the BSG
Yeah.
reboot from like 2004 to 2010, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. The Sci-Fi Network.
Um, Dale Turner. We miss you too, Alice. We miss you too. Definitely. Hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, and then she jumped into another great show, and that was The Flash. I don't know. Did you see the season with her in it?
Yeah, she's
So.
I forget the character's name, but she's like the chick with the magnetic power, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, controlled all the
Forget
metals, all that stuff.
I forget her name. I want to say Renette, but that's the chick from Ninja Turtles that
Yeah.
does all that stuff. So, but
I
yeah,
can't think of her
she's
name.
like
Yeah.
the last couple
Mm-hmm.
seasons.
Yeah, and she was actually in this season for an episode too. So,
Nice.
which the season finale was just the other night. But I've been watching some other stuff that I wanted to watch before. I couldn't watch it anymore. So,
Well, the whole season will be up on Netflix on like the 20th, I think, is what
yeah,
Netflix says. So
yeah, they're dropping it way sooner than normal, which is cool.
yeah, I
I've
appreciate that.
I've watched all of it except for the season finale, and They literally took the season and they had to cut off the last like 4 or 5 episodes, so it's missing some good stuff. I won't go into spoilers or anything because I don't want to dive into that yet. It's too soon for it.
Yeah.
But they're missing some good stuff that they'll be pushing into next season, which unfortunately, as of today, next season does not start till 2021.
Yep.
Which, part of my language, fucking blows. I mean, fall TV is gone. There's not going to be a fall TV this year.
There's nothing.
No.
It's Mandalorian season 2. So like the only thing that's already done that won't be delayed.
Dale said he said his hearing aids in for repair. That's funny. Yeah, I know. Everything is getting pushed off. All the movies. I mean, yeah, they say, I mean, we saw the news today of the New Mutants going to be pushed, in August, which that's going to be pushed out again. You just know that's going to happen.
That'll get pushed. Yeah. That'll get pushed back again.
Same with, unfortunately, Wonder Woman will get pushed back again. I mean, all that stuff is going to get just moved into, the end of the year, if not next year. I mean, I turned to Allison earlier and I go, looks like you got to become a gamer. You're not going to have anything to watch at this rate. I mean,
nothing to watch. Like, at least comics are coming back.
Yeah.
By the end of the month.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I mean, the comics will be there and video games. Hey, it's great to be a nerd.
And there's a new, I didn't even realize that this was happening. There's a new Thrawn book coming out at the later this year too, October.
I started reading it again, the first one. Finally started getting into it more, and the first chapter was really, really slow, and it is hard to grab you, but as soon as you hit that second chapter, it just starts taking off and really started pulling me in, and I'm like, I tell myself, like, I have to put it down or else I'm going to be reading this all night. Like, I got to just do little by little or else it's going to be all night long.
Yeah, it was like as soon as he gets on the ship and they're taking him to the Emperor, and it's like, all right, now it's picking up. But yeah, that first chapter where it's like you don't know any of the Imperials, you don't know what's going on. There's like these weird things going on with their defenses and stuff. Yeah, it takes a little bit. I think when I first got it, it took me like 2 or 3 nights to get through that first chapter, and then after that, I was reading like 8-9 chapters a night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really good. So then I was searching around and I was just kind of looking at stuff because I'm like, I want to see, I want to, especially reading this, I know I'm going to get through it sooner than later, hopefully. So what am I going to get into after that? So I went and looked at, I went on there and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll pre-order the new book for the High Republic, just because I'm curious, I want to see what it's all about and everything and see, what's going on. And that's when I saw the new Thrawn one that's coming out later this year. And I'm like, oh, let's just pre-order that now because I'm just going to be getting it anyways. So,
is the High Republic, is that a book or was that a comic series?
Both.
Or both? Or okay.
Both. Book, comic series to begin, then it's going to move into the TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So, they've got like 3 or 4 coming out this year already. So it's been in plans for a while. I don't remember. I wonder if I can pull it up here and take a look. Yeah, I don't remember for sure what the other ones are, but I did the first one that I pre-ordered, and it's Star Wars Light of the Jedi is what it's called. So, and it releases in August.
Nice.
So August 25th.
Is the novel written by Charles Soule or just the comic series?
The novel. Yeah.
Oh wow, both. So
yeah.
Both of them were doing nice.
Yes.
I loved his Vader run was phenomenal.
Yes. Yes.
I tried going back through and rereading the Gillen, Kieran Gillen and Salvador LaRocca one.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah,
but
just not.
I don't really like it. Like I mean Dr. Aphra is a cool character, but I didn't really like her as like Vader's right hand. Wasn't a big fan of that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then like the weird guy that creates all the quote unquote replacements for Vader, and you got like a General Grievous body, but there's like just a random Mon Calamari head on there. I don't know. That whole thing, the Vader Down was a cool series, but like otherwise that 25 issue run, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't the
Hmm.
best. If they removed it from canon or said it's not canon or whatever, that would be fine.
It'd be
But
cool, yeah.
the Soul series, there was Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camuncoli from a couple
Hmm.
years ago that went. It was like
That was
25 issues or
amazing.
whatever. That
Oh,
was so good,
I couldn't wait
so
to
good.
read it every single, I was sitting there waiting for it to drop because I'm like, oh, dude, I need to read this next issue because I just pulls you in so much, and it was amazing. And
Yeah.
I mean, even the current series there's because they've got the new Darth Vader one going on right now.
Yeah, it's
Is actually
Greg
really good.
Pak, I think,
Yeah,
and it's
which
like
is good.
another Italian guy.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, which I don't know what
All
their
right,
whole deal is, with that,
those
but whatever.
Italian guys are good at drawing Vader.
But it's really good too. I like it. I've enjoyed it so far. So
Nice.
I might have to go back and read a little bit of it because, I do really like it a lot. But since it stopped with all the comics and everything dropping, it's just like everything kind of just, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh well, crap.
yeah. Get caught back up. Like, well,
Hmm.
where did it leave off again?
Yeah,
It's like with a
exactly,
comic, they can't
exactly.
really do like previously on this, and
Hmm.
then you can't watch like a little 30-second clip at the
Yeah.
beginning of reading the comic. So might
Hmm.
as well go back and reread
Exactly.
it. What is the timeline
So
on it? Like, where in canon does it take place?
the current run.
Yeah.
It was because it was recent because they've been dropping all of it during because they had the new Star Wars run that they started because they refreshed everything.
Hmm.
And then go figure, they're gonna refresh, get rid of it all, and move into the High Republic.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on it right now on where it is canon in the timeline. Um, it's basic. I mean, it's all because most of Vader you find everything before, in between the two trilogies is where you're
Yeah.
finding most of the stuff anyways. So I know it's within that timeline. I'm trying to remember exactly when, and I can't think off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Fair enough.
but it's definitely really really good.
Nice.
Um, Speaking of that Thrawn book, so it's called Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising, and it's actually
Hmm.
book one of three because
Yep.
it is another trilogy. So yeah, the first one it is dropping. It looks.
It was like
It
October 6th, I thought, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. Yeah, October 2020. So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm curious. I mean, it's same author. I mean, so that's what's good. It must have been a real big hit, so everyone kind of jumped in and
Yeah.
loved it. So I mean,
Well, I mean the new Thrawn trilogy is awesome. The new
yeah.
canon
Uh
trilogy
huh.
because the guy that wrote the three Thrawn books, Thrawn and then Alliances and Treason, he's the guy. Timothy Zahn. He's the guy that wrote the first trilogy. It was the Heir to the Empire trilogy or the Dark Force Rising trilogy or whatever. But
Okay. Yeah.
it was the original like trilogy in book
Mhm.
form that was the original sequel
Mm,
trilogy.
yeah.
It takes place like 6 years after Return of the Jedi, and after the fall of the Empire. There's one last admiral who's like way in this backwater region of space, and he gathers all the remnants of the Empire
Mhm.
and like reattacks
Hmm.
the new republic and stuff,
Yeah.
and so he fights back and everything, and it also has to deal with like Jason and Jaina Solo, who are like Leia and Han's kids and everything.
Mhm.
um and like I always liked the concept, and I have like one of those character encyclopedias that tells you all the characters and walks you through all the main stuff,
Yeah.
and I loved reading that. But I tried reading the trilogy, like it's Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and I think The Last Command. They're the names of the three books,
Yeah.
and I could not get more than like 20 pages into Heir to the Empire. It was just so dull. I might go back and try it again now that I have like the patience of an older man. I can force myself
Patience of an
through a
older
chapter.
man.
Well, I was reading that when I was
Yeah.
13, and I'm
It's a
like,
big difference. Yeah. You're
and
like,
I'm just
yeah.
getting into my own as a Star Wars fan. I'm really
Mhm.
kind of figuring out who my favorite characters are of the
Mhm.
original trilogy. Like I
Yeah.
don't have the time to go into this new trilogy and learn all these new characters and stuff. So I've
Mhm.
never given it like an honest read to see how I feel about it. But it was really well received, super popular storyline. And then he ended up writing like a sequel trilogy to that trilogy,
Yeah.
or maybe it was just two more books. But he wrote another Thrawn series that takes place after the events of those books.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, and those were super popular. But then, of course, when Disney came in and said none of this is canon anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and then they announced, he's going to be in Rebels, and to introduce him in Rebels, the guy who pretty much created the character and wrote all of the great books, we're going to bring him back to write a new trilogy
Mm-hmm.
that takes place in canon. And dude, it's so good. I'm so excited for you to get into them because they're quick reads, they're easy reads, but they're fun and they're exciting. Oh, they're very good. And yeah, I'm really excited for this new trilogy. Is like it's like a Thrawn prequel. This takes place when he's still part of the Chiss ascendancy. It's like his origin, like how he becomes, like it'll
Yeah.
like where this new trilogy leaves
Mm-hmm.
off, where the Thrawn trilogy begins.
Real quick, I didn't notice it's not pulling over my chat for Facebook, so sorry, Kurt and Chris. I just saw your two comments there. So, Kurt, sup, sup, sup. Ryan, I love the history that is used to model the story after. Your dad is cool. And then, Chris, what's going on? How's it going, Doctor Shermanator? I'm good. I'm good. How's life for you? So hopefully it's treating you well with all this craziness and everything. And I know the industry you work in. I'm sure things are interesting with you. So yeah, hopefully things are good. Um, yeah, and so going back to that, trilogy and stuff. I've never read any of it or anything like that. But I mean, I know a lot of that is just not canon, anyways, just because Disney threw it out, and I don't think it would make sense right now, anyways. You couldn't pull some of that stuff in because Han and Leia's kids. We know who their kid is, and that's
Yeah.
Kylo. So throwing in extra kids,
Mm-hmm.
I think with the way everything's going, it wouldn't be right. The story just would not go well. Just would not, all that. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's which is unfortunate because there's a lot of good stuff that they could pull from and a lot of things they could do, but they're slowly bringing in the stuff. I mean, we saw Thrawn. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he I guess actually he was probably the first one out of all that canon that they threw out that they brought in.
Yeah.
So I mean which was awesome, and both of us are big fans. I
Oh
mean of
yeah.
him. So you know,
Yeah, he was awesome in Rebels. I'm rewatching seasons 3 and 4 of Rebels right now. Just
yeah.
super in the mood for some Thrawn, and Hera.
Mm,
Love Hera
yeah, yeah. I mean
and
it's a
Kanan.
great
Kanan
show.
and Hera
Yeah.
are so good. I think
I
I'd want to amend my answer from Star Wars Day. One of the questions was who would you
I
want
was
as your
just gonna
master,
bring that up because I
and
saw that on Twitter.
I originally said Qui
Yeah.
Gon,
Uh huh.
but yeah, I'm going with
Yeah.
Kanan. I
I
think
could.
I'd want Kanan to
Yeah.
be my
Uh
Jedi master.
huh. Have him not want to train you at first, and then finally you break him
Yeah,
loose, and then it's like, hey.
yeah. He's just
Yeah.
he's patient, but
Uh
he's
huh.
firm, and like
Yeah.
he lets Ezra make his own mistakes, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like not judgy or condescending about. He's like, well, what lesson did you learn from your failure? Okay, cool. Try it
Yeah.
this way next time. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's just such a good friend too. And I'm like, man, this
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kanan, I miss Kanan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate, and we dove into that a lot last time. So, but yeah, it definitely it sucks, but hey,
No, it was a good story, and like
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
feel it wasn't like they earned everything that they did with that character. All the development
Uh
those
huh.
characters got, they earned
Yeah.
everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
I really liked I
Yeah.
really liked
Yeah.
Rebels.
I
So
I know I want to go back and watch it because I'm gonna need stuff to watch anyways. And it's definitely a must watch. But I've been watching this week because Xfinity has it's their must watch week is what it's called. So all
okay.
their stuff, basically everything is free. So their ultimate
Oh,
package
nice.
almost is free. So you get HBO, Showtime, Skinamax, and you know.
All right.
I'll never forget when I was a kid. If you'd be able to get to one of those channels and see it, you're like, "Oh, I saw boobies." Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I
Mm-hmm.
had some good times with HBO when I was 14, and my
Yep.
parents went to bed at 8, and there were no one else in the house, and we had
Uh huh.
cable in the basement.
There you go.
Don't look at me like that,
Be like, like I was a young boy
I was young and
exploring.
curious. I
I
had
mean,
to.
come on.
This is why I'm
Anyways,
not into weird stuff now. It's
at least,
appropriate.
yeah.
My wife's like, "Are you sure you should be talking about this?"
Well, we
Well, we're
talk about
changing the
everything.
we're changing the we're back to Star Wars.
Yeah. So I was gonna say is so I've been watching because of HBO. I still got to power through it in the next 3 days to finish the rest of it. But two shows I finished watching Watchmen. Holy
Oh, cool.
crap! You have to watch it. Incredible,
Very
incredible,
good, huh?
so good. Yes.
Nice.
So it's definitely a must watch. So if you ever get a chance to watch it, I would recommend it. And
Okay.
they do finish it off right. Where since we're not getting a second season, we're good. You don't have to see, at least in my opinion. I mean, there is some openings at the end and stuff like that, and things that could proceed. But I like that they're not. You don't have to have that second season. And then I dove into season two, and I'm one episode into season three of Westworld
Oh,
because
nice.
I had seen Westworld season one, and if you kind of want to see like, I mean, it's a show that it's kind of like got like parts of Terminator in it. There's parts of, I mean, any movie that's been like has like AI involved or anything like that, or kind of robots taking over, or anything like that. It's got a real cool concept about it. I mean, because it's basically an island, called Westworld that you basically go to. And it was set up for the fantasies of people. They could do kind of anything and everything they wanted because it wasn't real humans. They were robots per se. And it shows how it's all about them, how they turn around and take over, and AI evolving through it and everything and whatnot. It's really,
Nice.
really good. I mean, really, really good. I like it a lot, and I think you might like it too if you ever get a chance to check it out. It's
Nice.
definitely a must watch.
Very
There's a
cool.
lot of fun stuff to see with it. So, but yeah, I've been diving into those. So I'm like, let me get through those, and then maybe get into. Nope. Then I got to get caught up on all the other shows that I've been skipping because of that. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
did HBO was free on Hulu. I don't know if it still is, but it was free on
Uh,
Hulu for the longest time, and so I got through. I watched Silicon Valley.
okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah, I like when I'm working.
yeah.
I like to just watch those little 30-minute
Hmm.
comedies and stuff because it's
Yeah.
just quick and easy, and
That's what
the
she said.
stories are light. You don't have to you don't have to you don't have to watch every
Yeah.
second of the episode. You can focus on work,
Uh
and
huh.
then while you're waiting for a page to
Hmm.
load, kind of glance down
Yeah.
and watch. So that was really funny. I got through that one. Really liked it a
Uh
lot.
huh.
But I like
Yeah.
anything that takes place in the Bay Area is gonna
Hmm.
hit home with me, and they're referencing stuff that
Yeah.
I know what they're talking about and stuff. So
That's been one of those shows where I did watch because episode one I saw because they had a free preview when episode one originally dropped, and I really liked it, but it was always kind of on there. It's like, okay, if I get the chance, I'll watch it, but it's not like a much watch.
yeah.
So I mean, maybe one of these days I'll dive into it. But it's I was hoping it was gonna be because HBO dropped a lot of their shows for free because of the whole
Mhm.
pandemic,
Yeah.
so you could watch a lot of it. But it wasn't one of those. We actually started watching. Allison and I started watching, and we got through it in like a week and a half or something. Ballers with The Rock.
Mm. Nice.
That was interesting. It was very, very interesting. It was kind of like a soft biopic of kind of his life in a sense of how it started out and stuff because being a professional, trying to get into professional football and stuff like
Mhm.
that and whatnot, um, and kind of how his life went. But it was really, really good. We enjoyed it, um, and everything. But that was a really good show. It was something. It was different. It's not the normal that I watch all the time. But yeah, a lot of good. I mean, you name for sports stars, they have everyone in it. I mean, all the big names eventually are showing up through it, here and there and whatnot. I mean, so which is really cool. So, um, but yeah, that was a fun little watch. But yeah, I know exactly what that was for. That was great.
Yeah, that was
She
good.
hates you, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
Yeah. Gives you those
She
dirty,
she has for a long time.
yeah. That's part of the marriage thing. After a while, it just becomes
Yeah,
hate.
she
Yeah.
knows that she's stuck. So
Yeah. She's like, yep, I'm stuck.
can't do any
That's
better
funny.
than this.
Yeah.
I tell her that
uh,
I'm the greatest good she's ever gonna get.
yeah. And she's like, okay, sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. Anyways, trying to think what else. I mean, really, I mean, the news is kind of slowly. Oh, the greatest sports game in history is getting remade, and part number one and two in it is getting remade and released later this year. Tony Hawk's
About
Pro
punch.
Skater
Oh, Tony
1
Hawk's
and
Pro
2.
Skater. Yeah,
They dropped that news this week that they're remaking it. They're not redoing. I mean, they're adding new modes. They're adding new things to it. Um, they're
yeah.
adding.
I'm sorry.
They kept a lot of the original soundtrack. Did you ever play it?
Yeah, a little bit on a. My buddy had a PlayStation, so and he was big into
Yeah.
going to skate parks and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, I played it at his house.
Yeah.
I always liked it was like Top Skater, whatever the arcade one was, where you had to
Oh.
hold onto the rails and it had like the actual skateboard that you had to stand on.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I know which one
Yeah,
you're talking
because
about.
it was
Yeah.
like
You
really
would. It
easy
was.
for actual
Hmm.
skaters, but because
Hmm.
I can barely even stand on a skateboard, let alone do anything else on it.
Yeah.
It was really
Hmm.
tough, but I liked just trying to. But yeah,
Hmm.
Tony Hawk. I don't. That's not one that I ever owned, but I played it a little bit at a buddy's house. It was fun.
Yeah, that was one game that was it was I loved it. I mean, I could not stop playing it, and it was one of the few games back then that I could dominate at, and no one,
Nice.
everyone could try to go against me, and I'm just was like smashing it left and right and whatnot. So, but yeah, they're bringing it back. They showed like the graphics. They've got all the skaters in it from the original ones. You get also see all the old school skaters. They're gonna have all kinds of unlocks and stuff like they normally did, but the soundtrack is the same, almost the same soundtrack. Maybe there's a few licensing issues there, but almost the same
Sure.
soundtrack that they had from way back then. You know,
Nice.
I mean, it's.
It's
I
gonna
was
be a
like,
bunch of late
yes,
'90s punk and hard rock and
uh
stuff.
huh, yeah,
Nice.
and some hip hop like Naughty by Nature stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, those in there. I was never a skater myself, but I loved that game. I mean, that series, like the first three to four of them were really good, and then after that, it just kind of just fell apart and just wasn't the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I was one of those like we need to put a game out every single
Yeah.
year because kids are
Hmm.
buying it.
Yeah.
We don't have time to develop all this cool stuff, so
Hmm.
we're just gonna half-ass every single year, and kids will buy it because it's Tony
Hmm.
Hawk, not because it's a good game. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. But it's I'm excited. I've already got it. I don't do a lot of pre-orders anymore. I hardly ever do them, but I'm pre-ordering that game because I know I already love it because I've played it. You know.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I'm sure Dale probably already had it pop up on his Xbox also as the pre-order because since we share ours, and I think I might have clicked the button when I did because I do it through my phone, and I think I might have pre-downloaded on his system too.
Oh, nice.
It's probably like pops up like Tony Hawk Pro Skate. What?
What the hell is this?
Why? Why is that there? But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm definitely gonna be throwing down on that because I'll have some streaming capabilities and stuff up here. I'll have hopefully get back into streaming once twice a week. Hopefully, I finally got all my stuff for that, so I'm just now trying to start working out a date and everything. So I got some nasty sodas to drink,
Yeah.
and yeah, Allison was looking at him was like, ranch, cream
Yeah.
corn,
Ranch
hot
just
wings.
ranch just sounds so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, the hot
no,
wing sounds bad too. Cream corn doesn't sound terrible, you know. I mean, like most soda is just corn syrup anyway.
true.
But
Yeah,
all the other flavors is like,
but you got to think, does it taste like cream corn when it is the corn syrup, though. It does. That's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to let you know when that's happening so you can tune in to some of that. See me
Yes.
gag it
Definitely
down
want
a
to
little
watch
bit.
that one. Definitely want to watch that one. Put it on for the kids.
Yeah,
Tell
they're
them
gonna
to close their ears.
be like. Dale just said, I still have too many far to finish. Can't add any more to the mix about games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dale, it's got multiplayer online, so we're throwing down on some Tony Hawks. I'm sorry, that's gonna be happening. I will be streaming it. Come on, you're gonna want to throw down on that. There's no way I'm gonna be as good as I was because my reactions, being a, you know, 40-year-old man, my reactions are not the same.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I tried playing the original Mario Brothers the other day on the NES on the
Yeah.
Switch Online.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm so bad at this. How was I? Like, I wasn't ever like awesome or anything, but man, I'm so bad.
Yeah. Now I'm awful. What is going on? Like, I keep dying on the first level. I used to pass this like it was that. Can't even make it to the special ending there where you can. Oh no, that's level 2. That the special ending is for the pipes and all that, where you can warp.
Yeah, when you break through the ceiling and run along the
Yeah.
top, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget those. Age slowing you down. Yeah, yeah. Hey, you're OMD, so you're still older than both of us. So
That's why Dale comes in last
yeah.
at Ultimate Chicken Horse.
I so wish that was worked between Xbox and the Switch. Does it
Yeah,
work between the Switch and PC?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look it up
Um,
to see what the if there's any cross play for the Switch version of the game, but it's only like $15 to get it on the Switch. So if there is cross platform, I'd pick it up in a heartbeat.
I'm trying to. I'll look it up and see what it says because I would definitely be down to
Oh.
buy it on Steam to do that. Well, it might be I don't know what they would do, how you would play it through, so I'm not sure. Um, let's see, Ultimate Chicken Horse crossplay. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah. So it's currently possible to play with your friends on Windows PC, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Linux, and Mac.
Hmm.
But you can't do it on the Xbox.
That's weird because I mean it's like they've got the Minecraft where it's all cross
Yeah,
platform and everything, and
that's
you use
odd.
your Microsoft store. But then again, Microsoft owns Minecraft, so it's a
True.
little bit different, I guess.
Yeah. And well, Minecraft was already all over the place, anyways. They just had to do it, and they're like, okay, so if we do this, more people are going to buy it on other platforms because we know they're not going to buy a system for Minecraft.
No.
So, but they'll buy it for the game, and that just makes us more money, which
Yep.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's not one of those system sellers, but then it's
Yeah,
so cheap and it's so fun that you're like, I'll just get it for all the platforms I have because you know, it's such a fun game to just throw on and waste hours.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to. Yeah. So it looks like we found a game. Then I'll. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm definitely down for playing that some
Heck yeah.
anytime. I haven't.
Super Chameleon.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even played it much since the new levels and stuff dropped. So,
Mm.
I mean, because we played it a little here. I mean, did we have the new levels? I can't remember if I had it on the Xbox or not. So, I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. Not sure. And Dale, yeah, you did. I'll admit that
Bill,
one. You're always
Bill
bad.
just sucks. He just
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
What was the one game that we played that one time? It was like it was like Duck Wars or something. Where it's
Oh
like you're a
yeah.
duck and the other person's a duck and you can pick up like weapons and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That
That was
was
a lot of fun too.
that was oh god that and I think it is on Switch now too.
You had gotten
Um.
it was like you'd gotten like a 5 or like a 6 pack or something like that. That was like there was some sale and it had all those different games on it. And we
Yeah.
played it on one of the nerds.
And the reason why I did, oh, the duck game
That was
is what
Duck
it
Fight. Oh, it's just the
duck
Duck
game.
game.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because I got it. The reason why I got it was for Extra Life, because
Hmm.
I was playing it during Extra Life United. Is what I was doing.
That's
Yeah.
yep. That was it. Yeah.
So I just realized my glasses glare everything off of it.
It's all good.
So
It's like these cool like blue circles and
yeah.
stuff. Makes it look like you're looking at like some Rebel Alliance display. You know, like you're in the Hoth
Yeah.
control room and you're watching all the Star Destroyers enter into Alliance space. You know,
It's a great way to look at it.
I was just letting. I'm like, this works. I'm just gonna let it go. This looks cool.
Yeah, just leave it. um, yeah, no, it's Duck Game. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I liked that one.
I
That
know I
was really
saw
cool.
a couple of fellow Extra Lifers that were playing it during the online edition of Extra Life United this year, since they went online for it. They were playing it afterwards but they were playing till like 6 or 7 in the morning, I think, afterwards. And I'm like, good thing I didn't jump on because I can't hang like that. Plus, I think I had to. I think they were still playing when I logged in the next day to get log on for work. I was like, no.
You're like, all right, I'm ready. Who wants to
No.
play? They're like, yeah, we're done. We've been playing this for
Yeah.
all night long.
You're like, really? No. You guys know you need to play a few games still, so. I'm looking and seeing here. It looks like. Oh, there is. Yeah, they released a Switch version in May of 2019.
Nice.
Um, I wonder if uh, crossplay. Let's see. And
Watching design ribbon.
so it looks like it might work with the PC. So that could be another game. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. I don't.
All these are all the Nintendo
Sure.
Switch games that support cross. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm looking on here for the list and I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to look into it probably a little bit more. Um, this could be an old list too that someone put up. I mean, but it would make sense. Huh. Um, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, a couple games throw down, have a little fun with, always keep us busy.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Switch, they just announced today that in July the next Mario game releases.
Yeah.
So Paper
Paper
Mario.
Mario, Origami, something or
Yeah.
other,
Mm-hmm.
Origami King, I think.
Yeah. Something like that.
So looking forward to that one.
Mm-hmm.
My son he had a gift card, so he picked up on the Wii U eShop because they still have like an awesome eShop. Like as
Mm-hmm.
we kind of talked about it a couple episodes ago, like as crappy as the Wii U was, they got a
No.
great eShop.
Yeah, the eShop was amazing. Yeah.
So he
Yes,
picked
it
up
was.
Super Mario 64 and the original Paper Mario. So he's been
Okay.
playing through those two games. So he's really excited. We also have Super Paper Mario on the Wii, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then Paper Mario, we've got Sticker Star for the
Okay.
3DS, which is not. I didn't care for it.
A
He
lot of
liked it.
people didn't like the Sticker Star. That was probably one of the lowest rated ones, I think, from what I remember, because they were talking about
Yeah,
it
it is.
on some gaming YouTube. Oh, Inside Gaming that I watch on YouTube, and they were talking about it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's like they really
Yeah.
dumbed down the
Yeah.
series, and it was like at that point they're like, we're gonna make the Mario and Luigi series be like for the serious RPG
Mm-hmm.
player, and then we're gonna make Paper Mario be for like the kid
Yeah.
RPG player and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so they really kind of dumbed that one down. He's enjoying it, but he doesn't like it as much as the original.
Yeah. I think I had the Wii version I played.
Yeah, that
I
one
don't
was the
remember.
good where it's like it's 2D. You held the Wii remote sideways like
Yes,
an NES
yes, and it would
controller,
flip
and
it
it's
up.
like it's
Yeah.
2D, and then you can
Yeah.
hit the button and it would flip it 3D really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that one was cool, and it's like you had Paper Mario and then
Mm-hmm.
Bowser and then Peach and then Luigi as playable characters.
Yeah.
That one was great. That was a great story and all the different with like the pixels that you could rescue, and then those gave you like additional abilities. That was a
Mm-hmm.
really great. That was a great game. That was actually the first Paper Mario game that I played. I
Yeah.
missed out on on the original on the 64, and then when the Thousand Year Door came out on the GameCube, like
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of after my time of playing on the GameCube.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I
So
played the 64. I know I played the Thousand Year on the GameCube some. I don't know if I ever beat it, but yeah, I know I missed out the 64 one. I didn't jump into it because I was like, that's the time where you're sitting there, you're like, you got Mario 64, arguably the starting game for all of 3D games out there. I mean, really, you can say
yeah,
that's what started it all. And so I was just like, I could care less about a 2D Mario at this point,
yeah,
because that was the cool thing to play. So I played the hell out of that and kept playing the hell out of that. Um, but I'm curious. I'll see. I don't know if I'll get it or not. We'll see. I mean, it might be something I might wait for drop in price and around like November or something for the holidays.
yeah. Now that one comes out right before Maxton's birthday, so he's like through the moon because he's like, "Oh my gosh, I could ask for it for my birthday! Oh my god, this is great!" So yeah,
you're like, yeah, please do.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
get it,
play it.
yeah,
Yeah,
ask
you
for
want
that
it.
because I'm not planning on buying another Switch game
Yeah.
until Skywalker Saga.
Uh-huh.
So if you
Yeah.
want to get one in between, that's fine.
I'm pretty sure that's coming out in October, the Skywalker Saga, because I know we were talking about
Yeah,
that back and forth, but I'm pretty sure it's October that they're planning on releasing it. So,
yeah. I thought that
um,
I had seen on the social media that was like early fall, but
mhm.
then I was like, maybe I'll just pre-order it. Why not?
Yeah,
So I went on GameStop and it was like December 31st. I'm like, that's just got to be a placeholder date. That
yeah,
can't be right.
because it's no
Like,
official date.
why would like you have like this big giant game and you're like, here's a great idea. Let's drop it immediately after the holiday purchasing season is over.
Yeah,
Great idea.
yeah. No,
I
they do
mean,
that
people
all
are
the
still
time. Yeah.
spending gift cards and stuff, but like, why would you release a game in December when you can release it in October and then everyone gets it on Black Friday? Everyone gives it as a Christmas gift, like,
the Well, I can say the one issue that they got to be careful with that is all this year is going to be weird. Who knows what's going to happen because of the whole pandemic? But
yeah, yeah, true.
um, no, that's why things are kind of separated. There's only a few games that release the very beginning of December, but mostly everything is September, October, November. But they space it out, because
Yeah,
they just don't want. Sometimes you just don't want to go up at certain games. A new Call of Duty game, you got to be freaking crazy to drop a game, during the same week of that, and think you have a chance. I mean, it just
yeah,
you don't. But there's certain other games that, yeah, I mean, the Skywalker Saga, that's going to be one of those games that a lot of people buy, but also it's one of those that people buy down the road too, because it is a Lego game and it's certain things, people might wait, or they'll be like, okay, we've played the original 6, on there, so we'll wait a little bit and we'll eventually pick that up and, play it. So something like that. But I know that's going to be another game that, since it's Star Wars and Lego, I have to get it.
oh yeah. Well,
I
well,
mean,
yeah.
it's a must. I
And on
mean,
these new systems, man, like Lego games they could just be so massive now.
mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
the old games where it's like, here's 15 levels and then like one kind of hub world that you can explore. And it's like, yeah, here's 200 characters you can unlock. But I'm already reading stuff that this game has like 600 unlockable, playable characters over the course of the 9 movies. And I don't
Jesus.
even know if they've confirmed, and it's called the Skywalker Saga. So I'm assuming it's just the
Yeah.
the nine, episodes one,
Mm-hmm.
two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and it doesn't have Rogue One and Solo
Yeah.
or any like
Exactly.
Clone Wars or Rebels or Resistance or Mandalorian. But at the very least, it's not only are we getting this game, it's going to be all 9 movies, it's going to be massive.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they just do like 2 levels per movie, that's still 18 levels. And
Yeah.
like the original complete, the complete saga was 6 levels for each movie, 6 movies. There were 36 levels. Of course, that was also before they cut it in half and then did a hub world. But I
Yeah.
think doing it like that is a little bit better rather than, like it works for Batman because you've got Gotham,
Batcave. And Gotham, yeah.
You've got the Batcave, you've got Gotham City.
Mm-hmm.
It works for Marvel because like every friggin' Marvel character is based in New York. So you just have this big giant version of New York, and then you have different
Mm-hmm.
areas of New York where you can access the various levels. So you can get away with doing 15 or
Mm-hmm.
18 levels and then having
Yeah.
just this massive hub world. But for Star Wars, it's a little bit different. So I'm hoping that they stay in that same vein where we're really playing through every movie from start to finish. We're playing through all the movies. So, but even if they don't do anything else, if we're doing like 6 levels a movie, we got 9 movies in there. That's a lot of levels.
That's wow. I mean, it's gonna take forever. I can't imagine like, especially someone playing like Xbox PS4 where they have achievements or trophies, trying to unlock every single and get 100% on the game. You've got to get every single character. You've got to get every single vehicle. You got to get every single everything. You
Yeah,
know,
every
I mean,
power up,
hmm
every all the extra crap.
yeah. I think that might be one of the games that I might go out and, or when I buy it, I'm gonna buy the like the digital deluxe or whatever it is, because usually then it adds in all the extra DLC that you get along with it and all the little added
Yeah,
bonus and stuff. Which I did. I did that for the last game. I still need to go back and play it more. But the Lego Villains one that they did for all
yeah,
the
I love
DC
that one.
villains.
That one's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I've been playing it. I haven't finished it or anything like that. I need to go back and do it. But I went back. I got that, and then I was like, oh, I never beat the. What was it? Episode was it 7 or 8 one that they did? Was
I
it?
don't think they did one for Last Jedi. They did one. They did
Yeah,
Force Awakens,
Force Awakens one. Yeah.
and there was like story that they added that bridges the gap between 6 and 7, and then you
Mm-hmm.
played through the whole
Yeah.
movie of 7.
Yeah.
But then I think that they waited on 8 because they're like, we're just when 9 comes out, we're just going to do one that's all of them. So we'll
Yeah.
just roll that development into that other, that into the other thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. We'll have to see. I'm hoping, depending on when it comes out, when all this stuff happens, I gotta be careful because I got the new. I'm gonna get the new Xbox when it drops. Which it sounds like it's gonna be November. But I'm hoping if that's one of the games, if it drops in October, that it will automatically be playable on the new one, so you don't have to buy the game a second time. Because in the past you've had to do that. If you bought the game on the PS3, you had to buy it on the PS4. If you bought it on the Xbox 360, you had to buy it on the Xbox One. And so forth. And I mean, which gets expensive after a while, but they've already announced that with a couple of other games, like the new Assassin's Creed is going to be, if you buy it on the Xbox One, it's already yours on the Xbox Series X when you do it. So I'm like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, hopefully this
yeah.
is one of those ones as well.
They're doing this thing. It's since E3 is all not going to be there and there's nothing there this year and whatnot. Everyone's kind of doing their own little things right now. Xbox is doing their own drops, like they're doing little shows of gameplay trailer stuff and things like that. But there's this one Summer of Games they're doing. Have you ever heard of Jeff Keighley?
Hmm.
He's big time video game guy. Like, I mean, he's been around since the days of G4. He was
Oh,
part of
okay.
G4 Network, stuff like that. I believe so, but it was around, part of that and whatnot. But he's the one that the video game awards that they do in December. That's his. He's the one that came up with that whole thing. He sets it up every year, does it. That's all him. But he also was the main host um, for E3.
Hmm.
And this year, before everything was canceled, he actually stepped back and said, "I'm not going to E3 this year. This will be the first time in like 25 years."
Jeez.
Which is huge. But he's doing a thing called Summer of Games, so he's going on every at least a couple days a week where he's announcing new games, putting stuff out. He was the one, his thing that he did. He came out with the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. That's
Oh,
was
okay.
announced through there. But then they announced yesterday he came on and showed the brand new. Have you heard of Unreal Engine?
Yeah, I've heard of the Unreal
Yeah.
Engine. Yeah.
Made by Epic. It's, all the so many games use it as their main engine. They've got through 4 iterations of it, and they just announced 5, and he dropped the 5th one on his little show yesterday. And I just go watch it, and you should see how what games are going to look like. I mean, it's a tech demo on the PS5, and I was just, I was watching it through YouTube. I guess I need to go to, what is it, Vemo, or it's called, or something like that, because YouTube and stuff like that will downscale a lot of stuff. So
Mhm.
you're not always going to get the same picture as what you expect. But the other site will show the true, what it truly looks like. But it, just from what I saw, even with the downscaling, it was incredible. I mean, it's so lifelike. It was what video games are going to look like. And I was like, that's scary. I mean, that is really scary. But
Yeah.
looked incredible. I was like, that makes me excited for new games, just because to see some of it. I mean,
Nice.
at least for the PS4, Xbox side, PC, stuff like that, Nintendo, they do their own thing. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They could
They're
care
like, oh,
less.
everybody wants these games. That's
Yeah.
because they don't see what we're gonna give them.
Mm-hmm.
They'll want what we
Exactly.
give them.
Exactly. So, I mean, it makes me excited for it, definitely, and I'm hoping that it will, you know, translate into some really nice looking, games in the future.
I think Nintendo's philosophy is like, wow, Microsoft, that looks really cool. Can you play it on a bus?
No, you can't.
No?
Can you?
Oh, we're fine then. We're
can
good.
Can you play it on a train? Can you play it on an airplane? Can you play it while you're sitting on the toilet?
Can you play it
No.
in a box? Can you play it with a fox?
Yeah. Nice, nice.
Thank you. Yeah. They're like,
No.
gamers can only play their games when they're at home.
Yeah.
But when they're on their lunch break or if they're on their commute, guess what they're playing? The Switch. So
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo's fine. They're like,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. They're rolling in the money right now, especially this whole pandemic. You can't find the Switch anywhere. I mean,
No.
and you have people selling it for 700-800 bucks.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
like,
when Animal
really?
Crossing dropped, all the
Uh,
Animal Crossing
mm-hmm,
special editions, were going
mm-hmm,
for like $950 on eBay and
mm-hmm.
stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad looking one, but I was like, holy crap! Like, I'm glad I already have one already.
Yeah.
I was possibly looking into getting one for Allison, because I was like, you would like Animal Crossing. You would just love it. And the problem with Animal Crossing is if you share your Switch with someone, they have to basically take everything from your island, and it's, they can live their character and they can have their own place and stuff like that, but everything is based off your island. So the person that's the
Interesting.
main person on the Switch and started the island and all that stuff, it's their stuff. So
Hmm.
you basically live off their stuff, which I think's completely dumb.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No, that's
So I
kind of
was,
weird.
yeah, so I was like, look into it. Maybe get it. We can visit each other's islands and do all that stuff and whatnot. But we ended up never doing it. She's like, nah, I don't really want it. And I'm like, well, you sit on your phone all the time playing games. You're a
She didn't want a
gamer.
hot pink Switch Lite,
Yeah.
just like a hot pink one.
No, she would have went for the blue one, the
Oh yeah,
cyan.
yeah, that one's pretty.
Yeah. It was not bad like it also, but yeah, no, I was like, come on, you'll play it. You like the Mario Karts and stuff like that too. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
you'd have fun. You play your phone all the time.
So you can get the Switch Online thing, and she could play NES and stuff on there.
Mm-hmm. Do all that, yeah. I mean, because Switch Online is what, $20 for a year? Is it? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, yeah, because, well, I'm not. Yeah, did I pull it? I can't remember if I'm paying for it yet or not, because I got the free year from Amazon Prime that they did,
Oh,
because they
cool.
had a deal with them with Amazon Prime. So I was like, $20 right there. Okay, cool. That comes in handier than than the free shipping half the time, the stuff I get with that.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, but cool. Well, we've been going for a while here, so I think it's about good time to wrap it up for this week. You know,
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. It's a good time.
you know,
Unless you wanted to talk about the rumors regarding the Rebels sequel series.
we can talk about that real quick. I haven't read too much about it, so I know it's been a lot of rumors going around and a lot of people saying stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's nothing official yet. It was an interview that Dave Filoni had given
mhm.
where they were asking him like what kind of Star Wars projects were upcoming or whatever, and he had mentioned that they were working high level Rebels sequel series. He's like, yeah,
Mhm.
we got a couple of things in the docket. We're gonna start working on the sequel to
Yeah.
Rebels and this and that. So there's at this point, that's really all we have to
Mhm.
go on. They're going
Yeah.
to do a sequel series to Rebels, but we don't know if it's actually like if it because at the end of Rebels we saw it was like a couple years. I think it takes place like a couple years after Return of the Jedi because
Yeah.
Jason Sindel is like 5 or 6, and
Mhm.
um, you had Zeb chilling with Callus, after the war was over. You have Ahsoka and Sabine going off to, in search of Ezra.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are assuming that what's going to happen is they're going to be on their search for Ezra and they're going to cross over that. And that's, when they'll cross over with Mando, and
Mhm.
it'll be Ahsoka and Sabine and possibly there's rumors that it's Rex is going to be in there too. So
Yeah.
Morrison isn't just Boba Fett; he'll also be Rex. So
Which
that
would
would
be
be cool.
awesome.
Like that's fine. That would be great if they
'Cause-
cross over there.
yeah.
Um, but a lot of people, there's some speculation that it's not necessarily going to follow the same characters. It's more of
Mhm.
it'll be more of a
Yeah.
spiritual sequel where it'll be a series that's similar to Rebels in the same vein that it's another Rebel cell or something along those lines,
Mhm.
but not necessarily follow those specific characters. Like they'll
Yeah.
appear but might not be in it. So I was just kind of spitballing some ideas, some Rebel characters that we've heard about or that we know about that I would like to see elaborated
Mhm.
on. And I think the main one would be Enfy's Nest and her group
Okay.
from
Yeah.
Solo,
Mhm.
just because she got the coaxium that Han ended up giving them like all but one of the little like test tube things of the coaxium because they're part of like this thing that's about to become a larger rebellion, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also know that we're getting a Cassian prequel series, so Cassian probably could cross over with
It would
them
be interesting.
if he needed to, because it's already the live action thing, and it's so we might be able to get some of that stuff with Cassian. Cassian has the dark past, so
Mhm.
maybe he's had run-ins with Crimson Dawn as well. So there's that whole thing. So if they're going to do another Rebel series that kind of takes place up to and about the same time as Rogue One and A New Hope, I would actually like to see them continue on and explore someone like the Iron Squadron that we
Yeah.
saw in that one episode of Rebels. But
Mhm.
I want them for selfish reasons. The YT 2400 is one of my favorite ship designs from Star Wars
Mm.
ever since Shadows of the Empire. That was
Yeah.
Dash Rendar's ship.
Mhm.
So I'm a big fan, and I'm like, hey, if they're going to do another Rebel series and this is the main ship, and we get a Lego set, I'll be
You're like,
sitting
I am
pretty.
all over that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm voting. I'm voting for Iron Squadron.
Yeah. I I would love to see it. I don't personally I don't think it's gonna happen. And the reason why is they're gonna be so highly invested into this High Republic stuff that I just don't see them diving into something else that's not going to go along with this whole big ass story that they're supposed to be doing between the books and comics and movies and TV shows and stuff like that. They've got all the other stuff that they're planning on, and I see that and everything. Um, but there's a lot of stuff that they say that's in the works, but they haven't talked about yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the other reason why is there's got to be a reason why they killed it off after, only a few seasons. It didn't go very long because I don't think
Right.
it
Yeah.
hit as was as big of a hit for people as that. It was overall. I mean, we loved it, and a lot of the people loved it, but it also I think it was a low rated score too for it. I think so. And so that's, I mean, those are the reasons, because I would love to see it. I mean, because I'm such a, fan like you are for the series. I love all the
Yeah.
characters in it, and how the story was built and everything, especially because at first when you start watching, you're like, oh, it's about a kid and it's got powers. Okay, we've seen certain things like this already, no big deal. And then all of a sudden they
Yeah.
just started going, and it just blew up, and it's like, okay, I'm down for it. And then when you get into the dark saber stuff towards the you know end of
Mhm.
it and everything, and you're like, oh, this was so amazing, why are you stopping it?
I know, like they really took
you
the
know
time too, like
yeah.
throughout all four of the seasons, to make sure that every member of the Phoenix Squadron had their own arcs and had their own episodes that were dedicated to them. Zeb had some great episodes. Sabine with all the Mandalorian
hmm
stuff was fantastic. You
hmm
had Ezra both dealing with his family,
hmm
losing his family, and also, becoming a Jedi. You had all the stuff with Hera and Kanan together, and like all the villains were great. Like I didn't think I would, but I really liked Callus. I actually liked all the Inquisitors. That stuff was cool. The few
hmm
times we saw Vader and Maul was awesome. Thrawn, I mean, you like Governor Price. You can't go wrong with any of the
yeah.
villains either. It was
No.
all such good stuff.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. I, I'm curious where they are going to take it, because they do need a cartoon, but are they going to keep something where it will go the Disney Plus route, or is it going to go into what, the DX or whatever it is? Where they
Yeah,
hold,
the Disney Channel
yeah,
XD.
XD or whatever it is. Yeah, XD.
Yeah,
Yeah, where, yeah, that's where Rebels was, and I think that might have hurt it too, because
yeah,
it was on a station that was mainly for a lot younger generation and whatnot. Even though they have a lot
mm-hmm.
of good stuff on there that they've
Yeah.
done. I mean, come on, gotta love a little Phineas and Ferb. I mean,
Oh yeah, Phineas and Ferb, good stuff.
you know, there's a lot of good stuff that they put out there, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess, and yeah.
I
I
wouldn't
mean, we
mind.
could speculate for hours
Oh
on
yeah.
it for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
um,
mind seeing it get the Disney Plus treatment though. Like
yeah.
make it a little bit darker, throw it on
Mm,
Disney Plus, just do like,
yeah.
a 12 or a 15 episode season and just do like, two or three more seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of bridge a little bit of the gap, show us what the Phoenix Squadron members were doing during the original trilogy, but then tell a different story that is another different rebel
Uh
cell
huh.
fighting in a
Yeah.
different quadrant of the galaxy. And
Mm-hmm.
like a smuggler cell or something like that. Like no Jedi or anything like that. Like putting Kanan in there as a Jedi who was like a former Padawan that survived Order 66, throwing Ahsoka in there who survived Order 66 is fine, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't tap that vein every single time. Like you can't do every story that takes place after the Order 66 is a Jedi who magically survived. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, but Vader hunted down and killed all the Jedi. So if there's like 50
Uh
Jedi
huh.
that survived the purge and they're all still alive by the time that A New Hope happened, like dude sucked at his job. Emperor would have killed him a long time
Yeah,
ago.
he would have been like, dude, you missed
Like
all these guys. What the hell? And I mean,
how,
you saw that from his comic series.
yeah,
When
it's like,
Vader was
dude, there
going
were
around.
60 Jedi
Yeah.
that survived, and here we are. There's still 59 of these people alive. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So they can't continue to go back to that thing where it's like, he survived, she survived. Like, it would have to be something completely different.
Uh huh. Yeah.
I wouldn't
Exactly.
mind if it was like if it followed Kashyyyk. That would be cool to see all the Wookiees and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
see like how the Empire just took all of their, took all their resources and enslaved them, and we can kind of see why some of them were on, what was it, Sullust
Mm-hmm.
or whatever the planet was in Solo, and like
Yeah.
that'd be kind of cool to see some more Wookiees or
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't know,
mean,
anything
they're
anything
going to
like
be
that.
diving more into the Wookiees and stuff, especially with the High Republic, because they're going to have that Wookiee Jedi, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, yeah.
The only Wookiee that we've seen other
I
than
mean,
like Chewie that was, I mean, we saw some Wookiees in Solo, but there was that one kid Wookiee
hmm
in like those two episodes of Clone Wars where
yeah.
Ahsoka saved all those younglings, and one of them
hmm
was a Wookiee. But
hmm Other than that, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I think what's going to also help gauge everything is the how well the Clone Wars did. was it a big enough hit to give, that treatment on Disney X, Disney Plus, I mean, and whatnot, and really make something darker? Are they going to do that or not? Or are they just going to keep it all live action stuff? I mean,
Yeah.
because they got a ton of live action stuff coming. I mean, and they keep announcing more and more stuff. I mean, right now it's been mostly all the live action stuff that's like actual shows or Star Wars and Marvel.
Hmm.
You haven't heard much live action anything else. I think today I saw they announced they have a Percy Jackson show
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to
in the
reboot
works.
that
Yeah.
and put that on there.
Stuff like
They've
that.
done a
So,
couple like original movies. They did like a Timmy Failure movie, and there's a like Diary of a Future President or whatever.
yeah.
So they've been doing some stuff, but yeah, it's like it's not buzz generating
hmm
stuff. Not like the
Yeah.
big properties like Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, they've had a couple little things there. They have like some cooking show on there. They have had, I mean, just little things like that. I mean, but those are like reality, not actual, fully produced shows and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I guess only time will tell. But right now, I mean, we don't know what anyone's going to be getting with this whole pandemic.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's true.
mean, it would be smart for them to be working on something because you can work on animation a lot easier at home than you can a live action because you
Yeah.
got to.
You don't have to get all of the actors on
Yeah.
a studio,
hmm
on a studio lot with the directors and all
Amen
the
to that.
people recording. It's like, hey,
hmm
you at your house and you at your house. Let's do a Zoom
Yes.
meeting, and then you do all
hmm
your crap on your computer, and
Yeah.
it's all on our servers, and
Uh huh.
everything is where it needs to be. Like you can still, a lot of the a lot of like actual like professional voice actors and stuff. A lot of them have like a home studio where they can
Mm.
record the audio. Not everything is done as an
yeah.
ensemble cast. Like most
Yeah.
VO stuff is done solo.
Yeah.
You're doing it by
hmm
yourself. You're not necessarily there with the rest of the cast.
Yeah, and they can. I mean, they could very easily ship out the equipment to whoever's house they need to ship it out to for them to use.
Yeah.
You record it, you do what you need to do. You can jump on a Zoom call and do it. Um, I thought you fell asleep, Dale. You are old. I just linked up all my stuff, some more stuff for free Twitch Prime stuff. So, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess only time will tell. Only time will tell. I mean,
Yeah.
I was gonna say earlier when you mentioned about Rex possibly coming on to the Mandalorian. Um, oh, switched over to laptop. Yes, it does. You need to get it set up so you can jump in on these, and then you don't have to type. You can just talk with us. Join in. You can do the gaming segment. That could be you, starring Dale, starring OMD. Our gaming segment. But I was gonna say with Rex, like they need to bring him because it's gonna make my pop go even more expensive. He is
Yes.
flying up in price. He's almost $200 now, and I'm like, just keep going, please, please, please.
Nice.
Like I will take it, more, make it more valuable. So if I need it, um,
Oh, we didn't even get to talk about the X-Men movie pops. That's fine.
oh, that's true. We can dive into that next week if we want. Or
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's already getting longer as it is. We don't want to go too
Yeah.
much, but yeah, I guess that's a good time to stop there and um, finish up for the week. So we had a lot of people jump in, a lot of conversation going. So I'm always down for that. Always let's keep it going.
Nice.
That's what she said. I don't know which comment you were talking to, but anything we say could go with it. That's what she said. But yeah, so hopefully everything looks great on all platforms because I upgraded this getting longer. Oh, getting longer. That's what she said.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. But hopefully everything looked great on everyone's end. I know Dale is hard of hearing, so whatever. I mean, everyone else said I sounded fine, so. But yeah, as always, yeah, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're just gonna go week by week, have some fun. We are in talks for another podcast, monthly one, for the return of an old school podcast, I guess you could call it for us. So we're in
Yeah.
talks for that. So stay tuned. Now that I have everything for my stream, that should be coming up within the next I'm gonna say tentatively the weekend after Memorial Day weekend. I don't want to do it during Memorial Day weekend, even though most people are cooped up at home still. Not a lot of
Yeah.
stuff is open, but still. But yeah, that's the plan there. But yeah, just more content, more fun, whatever. I'm enjoying this, getting back into the groove again, having some fun. So, as always, though, you can catch me across the platforms at Nerdology5280. Then you've got Ryan on the other end, who
Yep. I'm on Twitter at Ryan Does It Nerdy. That's pretty much it.
it's like that's about it.
I don't really do a whole lot else.
Yeah. Um, and then if you start getting on him, you got to get him to get his stuff going so he can get his if you love TMNT, jump in and
Mm.
he can get his podcast going.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Start pushing him that way. But yeah, as always, thank you. Appreciate it. We do this. If you don't notice the borders and all that stuff, I know I don't talk about it much, but Extra Life. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm representing. The links down there. All the kids definitely need your help, especially times like this, because they don't have the availability to do all the events out there, raise the money like they are. So it's harder for them to come by the funds as it is. So every dollar counts. So please, links right down. Like I said, I think most of my platforms actually all have it. I think. I'll have to double check on that. But yeah, uh, extra-life.org, and then you can find me under Jamie Sherman. It's not under Nerdology 5280. That's my team name, so you got to look for Jamie Sherman that way. But if the link, it will take you right there. Dale just goes, nice to see your quarantine beard's working though. Yeah, well, mine's growing again. I shaved it a couple weeks back, so. um, yeah. So thank you, and we will, I guess, see you next week about 8:30 or so on Staying Sane. Peace.